Hey everyone, Andre and Tom here to do something a little bit different, and that's the fact that, as you probably heard, Nintendo basically announced their own version of Dreams called Game Builder Garage. And as part of that, during the reveal trailer, they showed off a whole bunch of games, and they showed off even more on the Japanese website. So I thought it'd be fun for Tom and I to go through these games together and, one, break down how they may actually play, partially because at least some of them, if not all of them, I assume will be in the actual final game, so it might be fun to get a better preview of what's in store for us. Two, though, is it'll give us a better idea of what kind of games you can actually make, the actual power of Game Builder Garage, and see what exactly you might be able to do and help inspire some of you for when you get the game. Finally, some of these games are surprisingly similar to some actual video games. So I thought it'd be fun to point out some of the comparisons that I noticed and how some of these are straight up references to actual games. Tom, are you ready to dive in with me and break down how some of these games may actually work?
I'm ready to take a peek in the garage.
Alright, let's do it. So I want to start off with actually a video on the Japanese website that shows off, I believe, 6 games that each have their own logo. Now, while these logos are in Japanese, the American site also reveals the names of these games. And right away, we actually start off with Tag Showdown, which seems to be a game of tag where 2 players are playing, and you're trying to, I assume, touch each other while avoiding obstacles, I guess? Is that what you think, Tom?
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be a bit like hot potato or tagging the other player while avoiding those. I don't know, maybe if you can actually pick up one of those balls. I would guess not, though.
That'd be pretty fun, actually, if you just chuck balls at each other. Maybe that's how maybe that's related to how you tag each other. It's hard to say. Or maybe the balls are the ones playing tag, Tom.
avoiding the people and not being picked up. Well, it could be like dodgeball, yeah.
Could be. All right, let's move on to the next game, which is called On a Roll. And this is a tilt game, I believe, where you're just tilting a marble through a maze while running over, or I guess you're trying to collect. Are you trying to collect the apples, you think? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think the screenshot did confirm trying to collect the apples. Now, the thing is, do you think those metal railings are perhaps like electrified and you don't want to touch them, or maybe you bounce off?
That's actually a great call. That would make sense for there to be some kind of barrier. So I guess, yeah, and there's no actual goal here, seemingly. So it looks like, yeah, you are trying to get all the apples, especially because the counter counted down after getting it, so...
Well, maybe there is a time limit, and you have to go through there and go back to that kind of doorway on the left and reach inside without touching the edges, kind of like the game Operation, you know?
Ooh, I like the idea, yeah. That'd be cool. You're right. That does look like an entranceway as compared to the other ones. So, yeah, it's hard to say for sure. But and there are apples in the logo too. Just drive on the point that we are collecting them in case all the other points weren't enough. Next up, we have Alien Shooting, although it's actually called in English Alien Blaster. And this looks so fun. This is just like an R-type shooting game where you're just going through the environment, blasting these, I guess, obstacles. So like you would think you have to avoid them all, but you can just shoot through them, it seems.
And what we see here is shooting the purple one. I wonder, maybe blue ones are like invincible and purple ones are destructible.
That might be the case. Yeah, it might be onto something. Also, as we're going to see throughout this UFO is basically also from Labo VR Garage, or Labo VR even. And there's a bunch of things like that we're going to see throughout here that are pulled from that game. Because again, the creator seems to be the same. Alright, next we have what appears to be a platforming game called Risky Run, in which your character, just hops around and has to avoid the enemies. They have spikes in their heads, so this seems to be like just your standard, basically, Mario game.
Yeah, it's over there too. That seesaw does tilt in another part of the footage. They do have a mention on the Japanese site about an endless runner. I wonder if the same thing applies to a bigger stage where you can get random elements put in. Either way, or if it's just a set level by itself.
Yeah, that's a good one. And yeah, we'll be touching more on the Endless Runner soon enough. Next is Mystery Room. So right away, kind of to the point I spoke of earlier, Tom pointed out to me that you can see that creepy Labo creature on the TV, which of course is from Labo VR. In addition, though, we have a room that's otherwise mostly empty, except for a switch on the wall and a box. But if you break open the box, it reveals some dominoes on the wall. What?
I think this is going to be like a mystery room game, like an escape room.
Ooh, yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe getting out of there, but there's no doorway to exit. Maybe just some sort of final treasure comes down once you've solved everything in the room.
Yeah.
Or that creepy labo creature comes in and eats you. Either way.
And it looks like, is that blue thing, is that a weird colored domino, or is it a window? And I mean, it looks like it's part of the domino, because the dominoes don't make sense otherwise, because, oh, you know what they are? They're actually dice. They're not dominoes, that's why.
Yeah. Dice. That blue button, maybe it relates to that 0-0
Oh, yeah.
block on the wall.
Good call. That might be it. So this seems like this might be a fun room to just play around in, especially if, you know, it is an escape room, as you're saying, Tom. I love that idea. So who knows? Maybe, yeah, maybe that creature has to come and help you or something. All right, next up, Thrill Racer in English, where it just seems to be a simple Mario Kart-like game where it's 2 players. By the way, this game does support up to 8 players in total, according to the website. This one's at least 2 players, though. And yeah, you're just racing through a dirt course.
Yeah, it seems like you could probably apply a texture to the bottom here, and I believe it's just getting to the finish. Looks like an easy way to quickly create a racetrack. We can see, unfortunately, there are no googly eyes on the front of those cars. We don't know if it can support Stunt Race FX technology just yet.
I hope so. Maybe we can add sprites to the car, like we with the sprite creator. I hope so, but I'm so on it if so. The car, of course, returns from the vehicle kit and as well as Labo VR. Finally, in this part of the gameplay, we have this platformer, which looks similar to the running game, the not the Endless Runner, the Risky Run or whatever. But I love the logo here having 3D in it, because the visuals in 3D instantly reminds me of Mario 3D World or 3D Land.
Yeah, it's a good point. And maybe the main difference is just that, you know, it's not a pure 2D platforming game, but as we can see there, it stretches out in the distance. So just another take to prove that you can make slightly more complex games in 3D if you want.
Exactly, and we can also see an enemy hang out in the distance with what I think is like a treasure chest back there too, which I assume might be the goal. So yeah, I just wonder how you get from here to there. But hey, we'll have to play the game to find out. So, all right, so those are the games from the video on the Japanese website, which do seem to be at the very least included in the game itself, considering we see them titled in Japanese and English. They even have logos. So I think these are part of the lessons that walk you through how to make different games, I believe. But let's go ahead and move on to, we'll come back to the website shortly, but let's go ahead and move back to let's go on to the trailer and take a look at some of the games they showed off there. So, let's see. Right away, we have what appears to be a baseball game. I'm a genius, right? Detective, Sherlock Holmes over here. And this actually reminds me a lot of like a Rhythm Heaven game. I don't know why, probably because there's a baseball game in it. But
well, it's like the Karate Joe or whatever it is, punching everything. Yeah, very simple, but you know, maybe there's a possibility to create rhythm games in this.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. And also, I wonder if this is 2-player, if someone's throwing and the other is trying to hit it away. So, all right, next we have Shenmue, the game, where you play as a not a forklift, like a bulldozer or something, where you pick up blocks and then drop them down the hole. Why? Like, is it just maybe I had this wrong, Tom? Maybe it's less a disposal game and more of a blast core type game where you're knocking over buildings and then getting rid of the evidence.
Well, what's interesting here, they call it Tuna Cube Factory 2. Like, first of all, what was Tuna Cube Factory 1? Was that in Labo VR Garage?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, how's this a sequel? What?
And I think I saw another image later that we might come across where there's like 3 tuna in a row with blocks. Like, is this just an intro title screen to a game where you play as a tuna? I mean, this title screen alone looks fun to play in itself.
It does. Also, the clouds are actually moving, and this also this addition to the vehicle, as far as I'm aware, is new. That wasn't in Labo VR, so I don't know if that's a player created thing or if that's just part of it now.
And take a look, as someone who puts way too much details in thumbnails, look at how the text actually has a shadow on the ground.
Oh,
like you see
you're
YRO.
right. Nice, good catch. Yeah, in fact, everything's casting a shadow here, so cool. All right, moving on. We have this old school looking game, which I guess you're playing as this guy. There's a princess behind you, and I guess you're just dodging. What are these? Daggers?
Daggers.
Yeah. So you just have to shield them to keep them away from the princess, I guess?
Yeah, it's clearly called dagger dodge, even though you're blocking. Yeah, I guess a simple game where, you know, sometimes collision detection in games is one of the hardest things to program for. It's just getting items to communicate to each other, and this is a simple one where what would be the point though of blocking ones above? I mean, they're gonna miss the princess.
Well, I assume,
So
are they coming from above? I think it's just right to left, I assume.
yeah, but like let's say if that one goes all
Oh,
the way
I see what you're
across the
saying.
screen.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe the princess moves around eventually, or maybe if it reaches any point of it, I don't know, maybe that's a force field or something. Who knows? You're right. I do love the Game & Watch nature of it, though, where you move in increments, so that's kind of cool. Including the enemy.
Yeah, that's a good touch.
Alright. Oh, that one had a little rocket blast. You see that? It looked like it. Hold on. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm making it up. Alright, anyways. Moving on to the next game. We have what seems to be like a puzzle game? Which, it goes by so quick, I don't even know what's happening here.
Like, I wonder, did he just change the color of the block and then it matched all of them? It does go too quick, really, to notice. We have to go almost frame by frame on this one.
Yeah, I don't quite know. So just, yeah, maybe like a Rubik's Cube type thing. Well, not Rubik's, but yeah. I don't know.
We're just matching as many colors in a row, then eliminating them, and more colors pop up.
That could be. All right, let's move on to a simpler one that our feeble minds can figure out. A shooting game! This is the shooting game in which your guns are the three little fireball-looking things that surround you, and it looks like you can actually rotate them around you to change your aim, and you're shooting down like little aliens from the Lab of Blaster game, while a rabbit looks on from down below.
Is this just a continuation of the other UFO game, you think? Or maybe a different spin on it? Like, that could be a power-up.
It is possible. My inclination is to think it's distinct and different, but you know, it is possible. You do have camera controls with this game, so it could be. And yeah, I just love that rabbit just chilling there. All right, next up is a card game where the opponent has a card highlighted, and I don't know what that represents exactly. We can see you, the player, is holding an ace card, so I guess maybe you're choosing a card to swap with them or make them reveal or something.
Yeah, like if you can pick one of their cards for your own, perhaps, or...
Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, we can see the selector goes between them, so... Yeah, it's hard to say exactly what they're playing, you know, I don't know, Go Fish or something, or something of that nature. But yeah, card games are possible in this too, so cool. Next we have what seems to be a caterpillar game, where I guess you're eating the greenery, the green scenery.
Yeah, it's a very... almost like a snake-like game you could make out of this, and although all the blocks are the same color, so I wonder what would be the point of eating them. Is like just try to eat all the blocks as possible, then later on they'll add in many blocks you can't eat, or ones that will poison you, or you'll just get really long and like Snake and can't touch yourself.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we can't... It does look like the player like carved the path starting here, down, and then just continue through. So I'm guessing there'll be maybe hazards at some point where, as you're kind of suggesting, like you're going to have to better plan your path, or maybe you have to eat a certain amount before escaping. I don't know. Hard to say, but looks like that could be fun. So it reminds me a bit of like I don't know, a little bit like Dig Dug, where you're making like tunnels, or Mario 2 when you're digging through the sand, right?
Yeah, I just imagined one of the Sonic 2 games, or like the mini bonus game where you're running around in the sphere collecting rings, but imagine if you're a snake and you see yourself on the other side wrapping around the planet.
That'd be amazing. I love it. All right, next we have a fighting game.
Smash Brothers confirmed.
Yep, that's right, totally Smash Brothers. And actually, Labo VR already had a Smash Brothers-like game in there too, where one player is playing as a rabbit again against, what is the other thing? What do you?
It's a giraffe.
Is it a giraffe? Yeah, I guess some weird-looking giraffe. They have health bars at the top of the screen. It takes place in a desert during sunset, which I kind of love. So, and they have 2 stock too, each it looks like, below the power meters and the time limit. So,
yeah, so like a best of 3 fighting game.
Yeah, and look how do you think the player's being rebounded? Yeah, I think they're being rebounded by being attacked like Smash Brothers again. So, look at that.
But look at that, they're not damaging each other. Are those cacti maybe... Do those hurt the players and you try to bounce them into them? The giraffe is kind of close at first. Good
point. Yeah, that's kind of odd. So we'll have to play the final game to find out. All right, moving on. We have okay. I love this one. This is straight Geometry Wars, right?
Yeah, that's Geometry Wars.
Enough said. Just look at the visuals of it. That looks beautiful. Like, you can make some good-looking games on here, unlike in Labo VR.
Well, neon lighting confirmed.
Exactly. All right. And also, it looks like there's a point tally in the top left. Moving on, we have some kind of cooking game, like Cooking Mama. Like, this is clearly evocative, I think, of like Cooking Mama, right? But I don't even know what's happening here. It looks like we can see a picture of a joystick, where I guess you can press left or right, and you're... What's going on here, Tom? Do you even know?
I wonder if the joystick... It's almost like it's represented by that in the cake, but I wonder if you're actually decorating the cake a certain way and you get maybe judged on it at the end.
It's hard to tell because it looks like we've already accomplished what's happening. That's why there's like a celebration going on with the confetti. So it's hard to tell what the actual mechanic is here. Like, are you controlling her? Are you controlling that stick in the middle? Like, I don't know. I'm baffled.
Yeah, I would guess cake decoration, but it's possible there's some sort of mixing element just to get things put on the cake quickly.
Right, yep. All right, next, we have this shooting game where you play as the tank, where you move the reticle around to blast apart this giant coming in, this giant, like, Godzilla-like monster coming in from the sea. Actually reminds me a bit of, like, Kid Icarus Uprising. And, yeah, I guess the goal is just to take him down.
Yeah, but it might be a bit of a strategy game. I wonder if you're in command of those two helicopters and the battleship or kind of oil tanker platform.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. We don't... I mean, the blast initially is at least is coming out of the platform thing. I thought it was a tank. You're right. It's more like an oil platform or a ship or something. But yeah, it looks like the helicopters are going to be a factor too because they're all numbered in green lettering as opposed to the red lettering of the unknown enemy. So, yeah, that should be a fun one. All right, well that wraps up the initial round of games shown in the trailer, but we're far from done because, whoa, there are so many games happening here, some of which we've already touched on, but maybe we'll learn a few more details about them. So yeah, let's just go and break these down in slow motion so it doesn't become too repetitive. And let's go ahead and zoom in here. So we're gonna just go through in order, top left to top right, to the bottom right, going, yeah, clockwise basically, or whatever. Anyways, first up, this seems to be like a grid-based game. It almost reminds me of the Smash Brothers credits, where you're shooting the wall?
Yeah, you're shooting lights on the wall, and maybe it's just a simple version of shoot them as they appear. Like, I wonder if there's going to be a bit of a gameplay twist later, like if you shoot one that's connected there, maybe it takes out both at the same time for a combo.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Very strange, but I do like the cool little targeting reticle look of it. It's got like a high-tech look to it. Next, we have this weird, creepy-looking, hallway game where there's a cube that illuminates the environment and then leads us to the skull. Tom, any thoughts?
Oh, it shows you can make a Doom hallway-like game, and I wonder if that skull, it's stationary there. Does it indicate a dead end?
No, something's dead there for sure.
Yeah, is it a mystery game, or will those maybe start chasing you? I wonder how fast the actual game will play. This one looks kind of slow, though. It's probably just a dead end kind of symbol.
Yeah, I wonder, like, do you have to move the cube around in order to light up this place? And, like, what's with the red marks on the wall? Is that blood? Is that graffiti? I don't know, Tom. Creepy.
It's probably blood. I'm sorry.
Man, I need an adult. Next, we have this black creature shooting fireballs at a ghost while there's a heart behind them. And are you playing as a ghost here, Tom, do you think?
I think you're the ghost. I mean, you got that giant boss-like creature defending the heart. He's shooting fireballs at you. While it would be fun to have a tower defense-like game protecting that heart, the way the ghost is moving, it seems more like a player to me.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's another enemy up here too. It looked like right there. So yeah, I guess you're trying to get to the heart. Maybe it's his heart. It's a little bit like Tubba Blubba from Paper Mario. So.
Well, speaking of Paper Mario, look at how the ghost flips. That's going to be a neat effect available for a Paper Mario-like game.
Oh man, you're right. Great point. Love it. All right. Speaking of game references, next up is my favorite so far. Tom, does this look familiar to you at all?
I saw your tweet already, so it ruined it for me. But I want to hope your reflexes have slowed down if we get to play this in multiplayer. You always beat me on it.
This is straight up Shy Guy says from Mario Party 1 and 2. It's practically identical down to the white and red flags. And 4 players being in the back, and the goal is for each of them, you can see they're actually numbered 1 through 4, is you need to raise the right colored flag after Shy Guy, or the panda in this case, raises theirs. So it's a timing game. So it's almost saying you have to be quick in order to make it through. And I love that they referenced that game here. Real quick, I'm wondering, the slow speed might be tripping me up, Tom. What do you think? Should we go to the faster one, maybe?
You can go to faster, and if we have to, slow it down.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. All right, moving on. We have this game. I don't even know. It's like some kind of platforming game. You're collecting coins, and I guess that's it.
I guess just a simple Mario game with blocks. They don't have them breaking there at the time, but it's just gonna show you if you do want to make something like Mario 1, you can.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I mean, it just shows. Yeah, even though we knew you can make platformers, you can make platformers of all kinds, of all different kinds in this, which is neat. All right, next we have what looks to be breakout, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, this looks like Breakout to me.
Yeah,
but the main character does look a lot like a Space Invader. It kind of throws you off.
It does actually, yeah. Maybe it's like a combination where you're ricocheting, I assume, the ball off your paddle at the bottom. And do you think, is that paddle above, like, defending the, I guess it must be defending the Space Invader thing.
Yeah, I think it's a little twist in gameplay where it's defending it. And it looks like you have two corners where the ball can hit it and bounce back. Like, you don't have to go the full screen across.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, like almost like little pinball bumpers. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. Good catch. All right, moving on. We have, Tom, does this remind you of anything?
Definitely a Mario Party-like game on a bigger scale. So, yeah, I would say Fall Guys.
Exactly. You even have fruit here. It reminds me specifically of the game where to dodge a fruit, and there's even like some like a cherry here, and among other things. Or apple, or whatever that is. But yeah, this is straight up Fall Guys, and we can see two players trying to work their way up the hill to where the arrow, to an arrow that marks a heart, which I assume is the goal. So yeah, that's a fun, neat little, I assume that's a reference, although it's possible I could have just stumbled upon this, you know, by accident. It's not the most original of games. There have been Mario Party games similar to this too before. Alright, next, this is a weird one. What? You're playing as like, there's like 3 fish, picking up these aliens, I think. Yeah, those are aliens again. Or taking them down, I guess. Tom, any thoughts?
I wonder if this is that tuna game that we saw earlier. They kind of look like tuna to me.
Oh, yeah.
And this might be actually what it is. But I don't know how it's playing exactly, because you're not really dodging anything.
Yeah, you're not doing anything. Can you activate, maybe, can you catch them in your block? Maybe you have to activate the box to become solid and catch them? I don't know.
That's what I would guess, but maybe they're just not doing anything. Maybe the guy was like, oh man, I gotta press the record button and I can't hold the controller at the same time.
Right, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it could be a 3-player game too, you know, so.
Oh, what if it is, you have maybe 3 buttons and you're pressing each button to match the beat of
that.
That's another possibility.
That might make more sense. Yeah, that's a good one. This could be actually like a rhythm type game. So, good thinking. And by the way, for reference, the tuna game you mentioned earlier, I don't think we said it during the video itself yet, have we? Or did we?
I think we mentioned that forklift game. It was called.
Oh, that was it. Yep. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm hip. All right, awesome. Next, we have that shooting game again, which it seems to be, I think, pretty much the same clip as before. So, oh, actually, we see a mushroom down there this time. Look at that. Mushroom! Yep. Alright, moving on. What's this remind you of, Tom?
Oh, I'm kind of getting Double Dash vibes right now, but with that Neo Bowser City level.
Oh, Mario Kart 8, yeah.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8. This one is the countdown. I'm wondering if you have to, if that's just the start of the race or a timer to meet a checkpoint. Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm definitely getting like, I'm getting almost like Tron vibes from this, or a Blade Runner maybe with a Neon City.
Yeah.
And I think I actually saw that name earlier too. I think it is called like Neon something. We can see a little space, some aliens on the side, complete with like a little alien diagram there. And then also the Labo VR car drives by once again. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It looks like you have a reticle though. So do you think it's a shooting game too, maybe?
It could be an on-rail shooting game. You're onto something there. That's a good point, but there's an alien there. Like, there's gonna be aliens floating at you. Yeah, I think you're on the right track. On-rail shooter game.
Yeah, we can see some kind of like, I don't know, there's like a UFO up there or some kind of hole. But yeah, I wonder what I want to know what those numbers mean. It counts up then down again. So 787, I think. Weird. Anyways, I love the look of the city though. Next, we have a dodging game, seemingly, where, yeah, you just have to dodge the rollers and the balls coming from the boss, I think.
Yeah, you got some varied pattern attacks. That makes you jump and just dodging those 3 balls. I think that's all there is to this one.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's got another neat look to it, though. All right, next. Oh, we have this destructive game. I'm reminded a little bit of Bombmerman, actually, where I assume you're trying to knock the other player out by kicking the bomb into them and having the floor drop out beneath them.
Yeah, this is like a quick, small, dynamic Bomberman match. I guess when you fall to the floor, it's neat to see the multiplayer going here. I guess each person sharing a Joy-Con, and I think I'd love to make games like this in Garage.
Yeah, like single screen competitive games. Like this looks so fun, and also there's Joy-Cons on the left and right to represent the 2 players. All right, next we have, speaking of Joy-Cons, this weird one where is this a Joy-Con drift game? So that is a Joy-Con. I saw a picture of it, so I can confirm that's a Joy-Con. And you're going around these corners? Like, are you drifting around these corners? Like, what's going on?
Maybe there is some motion controls. You
Right.
could be holding it in space and rotating it and making your way through the level.
I think you're right. So I guess that's it. Maybe you just have to rotate around the corners, and those lines coming up are gonna be a little tricky, I think, to squeeze your way through. So, pretty interesting. Next, we have the most classic of arcade games, being Whack-A-Mole. These look more like Diglets or
Yeah, Whack-A-Diglet.
Whack-A-Diglet, exactly.
Whack-A-Mole isn't a real game.
And there is a score tally here along with the countdown. So yeah, a classic. Moving on, we have that baseball game again, so we'll skip by. We've got the tank shooting game. Doesn't seem to be anything new here either. So here we have this. You know what this reminds me of, Tom? This reminds me of Shadow Play Alley from Super Mario 3D World, where you were seeing the world as a shadow, and that kind of seems to be what's going on here. It's a 2D based game, and you're just going for, what is it, like a crown or an animal head, I think, in the top left?
I think they have another animal like that a bit later on, like a frog or bear head.
Yeah, okay.
But definitely possibility for silhouette-like games like Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze confirmed.
Yeah, I love it. That's a way better reference to my Shadow Play Alley. All right, next, oops, I'm doing something here. All right, next we have soccer. Yeah, or football, as some of you may know it as. Yeah, so this is, I mean, not much to say here. You can make sports, clearly. And my hope, Tom, is that I can edit out these guys and put in some vehicles that we saw earlier and make it Rocket League.
I would hope you can have 2-on-2. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how much more complex that gets with passing and shooting, but probably possible.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, some nice physics going on. All right. Next, we have this. You're playing as the Abominable Snowman from Labo VR as well. And I guess you can, who's snowboarding, and I guess you can control the tilt of it maybe, or maybe you have to jump in time. We don't see, I can't really tell any specific actions the player is making here, though.
Yeah, I wonder if you just tilt the snowboard with the controller, because there's no animation for a jump or anything. It's clearly just moving around. I think it's more of a tilt control game.
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah, probably it's tilt control again. So, yeah, looks like it could be a fun one, though. All right, we got that fighting game again. Same clip as before, so the player seems to die. Or no, that's the start of the match. Okay. The match is resetting. Then we have this odd-looking puppet game, maybe? Or low-gravity game? Any thoughts?
It looks like a combination of electroplankton and res.
I love that idea. It actually does seem a little bit res-like. Gameplay, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's supposed to be going on.
It's kind of like it's falling, but also maybe creating a shape. It's going to depend on what the goal is here.
Yeah, you got me. All right, next, maybe the chat will have some ideas or comments. Next, we have this frog game, which is similar to the face you mentioned earlier, who it seems to be a custom-drawn sprite, I assume, with a neat little animation, who just flips in place. So I don't know, is this just like a jumping game? You are a frog, so that makes sense.
Well, I'm impressed with the animation here to do a backflip or something like that. But maybe timing? Like we don't have any sound with it, so it is possible it is dimensional sound.
That's a good one. It could be rhythm-based as well. Yeah, I like that idea. All right, next we have a city backdrop with, you can see like, is that like a shooting, something's moving in the background there, and we have like a planet, like different planets or celestial bodies in the back, and then something pops up there at the very end. I don't know what it is.
And this little guy walking in the middle of the screen.
Oh, good call.
Dude.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
the low resolution is not working to our advantage at points. So yeah, that I assume is a player character. Is it just like a casual stroll through a city? That looks like that looks like a cell phone almost.
Yeah, casual stroll. But the thing is, I wonder if that's a 3D model of the character we've been seeing, and it's just put in 2D perspective. I mean, it has a kind of nose and stuff of him. So.
Good point. This reminds me of like just early Atari 2600 games, like very basic visuals, like kind of blocky, not a lot going on. So yeah.
I was gonna say a bit like Bird and Bees from WarioWare.
Oh heck yeah! And actually, this whole screen reminds me a bit of WarioWare, like with all the different, not micro games, but like games in this case, which is really cool. All right, next we have a tank game. I think where is that? What is the thing in the middle? Is that like a monolith? It looks like it's shooting like that tower and destroying it.
And also. Yeah, it's not quite driving into it. He's going over a sand dune, but taking out. It could be a turret or something.
Right.
Look at that. It's almost like physics with the wheels going on. You could create your own truck simulation game in a Game Builder Garage.
This is Nuts and Bolts 2, my friend, right here.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. That actually is cool. Like that the vehicle is accounting for the different physics laid out by the player, it seems. So unless that's a built-in vehicle, because that is a little bit similar to the tank we saw here. No, it's not. Never mind, I take that back. Not all similar. So yeah, but I guess users are going around destroying enemy artillery. So, all right, we're in the penultimate row. There's a caterpillar game we already touched on. Nothing new there. Here we have 3D frogs this time with a bear as they leap together. The frogs forward and the bear back, and they fall apart. Like something like this, like an art house film.
I wonder what the point is here, or you're trying to do jumps without falling apart. But this is going to require a bit more context.
I think so. Agreed. All right, speaking of context, here we get, context! We can see you control a cursor, it looks like, and you drop it onto the center of the cake, and that's what causes the celebration?
Yeah, I guess that's the very end of it. You're probably dragging items earlier. Maybe that... I wonder if that icon changes.
Oh, yeah.
The topic probably doesn't in just this, but probably items come down and you have to arrange the cake in a nice fashion. Maybe at the beginning of the game they show you a picture, what you should aim for, and then you have to remember it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, good call. All right, moving on. Whoa, okay. We have this guy who's having a really good time just jumping around, and that's it.
I think this is just here to show us you don't have to be the default stock character. You can kind of make a character if you really want to.
Actually, that is a fantastic point. This is a 3D character with some animation, limited albeit, but their arms are moving. So, I guess is this a character the player created? You think?
I think so, because it's just hopping up and down, moving up its arms. I wonder if you really want to, if you had to connect feet too. I guess it just depends on the number of connections.
That's a good one. I mean, it is using simple like geometric shapes, so yeah, neat. No idea what the actual game is, if there is one, but okay, here we go. So we can see there's I think we saw the cursor earlier. So I still don't know what's going on here.
He's just selecting the groups of 4 right now, it appears.
Is that it? Yeah, I guess. I think you're onto something. You're right. Just selecting groups of 4. So maybe you're able to change the colors in some way and then select them?
Yeah, it's either that or just select them as fast as possible within a time limit, if it's a simpler game.
Oh, Tom, here's an endless runner you were talking about. Or running endless, I guess. And yeah, this is straight up like Bit Trip runner, right?
Oh, this is straight up Google Chrome. You have no internet, dinosaur.
Great point. I love that, actually. Yeah, is it just me? It almost looks like it's framed like a Game Boy, like a purple Game Boy. But I don't know what these yellow tabs are. That one says it looks like it's a stomp or
it's almost like stomp
or avoid blocks.
Yeah, so
and then
you can jump on top of them.
Yeah, and this one says AR or AB jump. Okay, so yeah, neat. I like the simple visuals. Again, another 2D flat game. So, all right. Final row. Got the card game again. No new context there. Whoa, okay, here we go. Here's true Atari 2600 visuals right here. This is a shooting game. They're blasting. It almost looks like a 2D, like an even earlier version of that tag game we talked about earlier, Tom. Including even the platforms look similar, so.
I'm almost thinking if it's a later version of the tag game where they added sprites instead of those 3D models, which might be harder to do.
Yeah, and they are shooting what look to be kind of like the similar balls I saw earlier as well. And yeah, this just reminds me of a few. This almost reminds me of that. Is it Towerfall, Tom? That indie game where you're shooting arrows at each other?
Yeah, that's Towerfall. And yeah, 3 hearts though. So you do get some health in this one. It won't be over instantly.
Good point. And you gotta love that lighting bloom effect right there, right? All right, next we have the okay, the same sword and dagger game again. Oh, here we go. We have an actual solar system going on here. There was the Earth. Do you see the Earth or the Moon pass by real
It's
quick?
just spinning around. That's pretty impressive.
That's really impressive. Man, Blast Core, eat your heart out. Like,
and it's that UFO again.
You're right, the UFO. So I guess you're flying among the solar system. Like, what a neat idea. I don't know what the game is, but like, this is super cool looking.
Imagine if it was a world map for the other game.
Oh my god, could you imagine each of these are different levels? I love that idea. And of course, you know, the sun in the middle. What a neat. This is super cool. I gotta know what's going on here. So, anyways. Next is, whoa, are these like bullets coming into you? And you're like dodging them?
And it's kind of in slow motion too.
Yeah, like a little bit Matrix-esque. And then you have these black platforms you can, or maybe use them as cover. Although the bullets need to be going right through them, or maybe they're not shooting it. The bullets are just coming through the walls. Assuming they're bullets, I don't even know what they are.
Yeah, and maybe that's the part of the trickiness. You don't know where those will come from at any second.
Yeah.
And yeah, either bullets or mini pepperoni sticks.
That's a much better idea. I wish you could, yeah, maybe just have to eat them. Speaking of eating things, possibly, we have this odd thing, which reminds me of actually the Moon to Majora's Mask. Actually, this is Animal Crossing. Look at the rolling world even, and how you can shake the tree and knock the fruit down.
Yeah, it's either make your own Animal Crossing. I wonder if you can do a similar kind of Mario Galaxy-like effect if you really wanted to.
Oh god, that combine that with the world selection of the solar system. Man,
Might be getting a bit ambitious here.
Yeah, that's a crazy looking effect though. Like that's super impressive. So it really goes to show like how versatile this game is going to be. You know what I assume this is? It's just you're just on a giant cylinder. Like you just expanded cylinder, put it on a tree, and then drop the fruit. I don't know what purpose that serves. It seems to roll away. But yeah, I wonder if it might roll around and wrap back around. So we'll see it come back in a few seconds if we could keep watching.
Oh, that'd be an interesting dynamic idea. Either that or like an endless runner, but wrapped around a cylinder.
Yeah, good point. Hey, that'd be fun. Oh, I love that idea. Alright, so that covers it for all the games from the trailer, but like I said earlier, we're not done yet, because the Japanese website has even more images for us to go through, some of which we've already seen, so I'm going to skip through these pretty quick, in case there's new details. But, okay, here we go. Here's a game where this guy's just, like, very upset, kicking down this block structure, seemingly. Maybe it's related to that tuna game we were just taking a look at, both a couple pictures ago, but also way earlier in the video.
Yeah, with the cubes. Is he kicking a ball and hitting that, or do you think that ball was on top of the structure of cubes?
It's impossible to say. That could be it too. My guess is he's kicking the ball, but it's truly impossible to say. So this gives me, for some reason, like Boom Blocks vibes, where like I assume it was maybe in a tower form, and you're like kicking it down. And you did use balls in that game, so I don't know.
Create a game, Thwomp Blocks.
Oh yeah, or that needs to happen. Next is this game again, so we're gonna move on. Here we go. This seems to be like maybe a platforming game, but he's on a different layer. Maybe he's jumping, I think.
He's jumping.
Yeah.
I think it's like hurdled.
Good call. That's probably it. So that could be another auto runner type thing. I love the art. This is better than what I can draw, guaranteed, in the game.
Genuine programmer art.
Tom, do you see it?
I see tanks.
We play tanks, maybe? It looks similar, although it's more like we play tank in this case. But yeah, I kind of love the vibe of this, where you play as this tank and you're shooting down aliens, and as I also assume being able to destroy the boxes here as well.
Yeah, as long as we can program in a missile that can do a double ricochet, or tanks as possible. We play tanks as possible to make it.
Indeed. I love that idea, and also I should mention too. We have wooden crates and metal containers. I assume the metal containers can't be destroyed or maybe even moved, whereas wooden crates I assume can be destroyed. So
Yeah.
I want to make a 2-player version of this.
Yeah, definitely. I would assume that explosions after shooting and just missing the alien.
Exactly. Next, we have another look at the Neon City. A better look at the car right there that passed by on the street. Really no better insight. We can see, although we do see like some numbers here, oddly. This is actually a surprisingly detailed environment. Like this is actually straight up really impressive.
It's got a number 7 there again. It's got a cursor still, but yet no hints really of what you're trying to do in it.
Yeah, no idea. But so I gotta know. I want to know more. All right, next is a top-down driving game, seemingly. No clue what you're doing beyond, I assume, maybe just dodging things. But the road's pretty narrow, which is odd.
Yeah, that's really zoomed in. That's going to be pretty tough to actually play this game.
Yeah, maybe you have different camera angles you can choose from, or yeah.
Yeah, it's actually just probably a recreation of the turbo tunnel.
Yeah. I do love top-down racers though, so this does seem promising in that you can, I assume, create them here if you wanted to. Alright, next we have this 2D game again, but this time we can see what might be a second-player character, leaving what seems to be like, I don't know if it's like a motion blur type effect, almost a little bit like you could see in Mario Maker when you put the trails on so you could see the path of your character, but...
Yeah. Unless that was still from that character. We didn't really see him leaving trails before when we were watching.
No, we didn't.
It,
so that is new. Maybe it's a power-up? I don't know. An enemy that looks just like you but purple? I assume it's 2 players, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe you can make cooperative platformers at the least. So, all right. Next up. This is weird. What are these? Are these like dogs? Like standing around the carrot?
Yeah, then... What would you do here? You tilt the carrot away from them? Are you trying to arrange them in some order by moving the carrot?
Yeah, I guess you being the carrot would make the most sense, right? Are you trying to avoid being eaten? The dogs don't like carrots.
I guess it is possible. It could be the yellow one, because that one kind of stands out, and you try to get the carrot while the other ones may move towards you.
Yeah, you might be onto something. So, yeah, you got me. Comments? Any ideas? All right, next is Whack-A-Mole again. This Matrix dodging game thing again, which looks better with a resolution than it did before.
Mark Cerny's going to be concerned.
Here's a fighting game again. Shy Guy Says. Caterpillar game, which actually this one has a little bit of a different layout, so yeah, it looks like he took a different path through. No better idea of what the goal is fully, but here's another weird tuna game. They like them tuna. Do you think you're playing? It looks like is it hopping for the balloon? But are you the player here? Like, what's going on?
Are you releasing the balloon and trying to time it for the tuna? Can you jump and grab the balloon?
I think you're onto something with the releasing the balloon idea, because it's right above the player. So you might be onto something. So maybe you're trying to put the balloon in the path of the tuna, or avoid the tuna breaking it.
I think you'd want to, the tuna break the balloon.
Yeah, it's got stars on it too. You gotta break those star balloons. All right, next, card game again. Oh, here we go. So this is interesting for any number of reasons. But look, we have like this wild mirror effect going on, where the play area is just a single room with this weird adventurer. You've got a box and then the blue player character, but then you have a mirror reflecting on both walls, and then you can also see the reflection of the mirror in the reflection.
That's just a crazy effect. I mean, I remember in older games just having a single mirror so hard. I guess it was very simple, able to do, but I'm gonna call that backpacker. He's just a happy mask salesman. I'm sorry.
Totally. And the backpack even looks similar. You're right.
Yeah.
Although you are making me think, Tom, is this actually a mirror, or is this just someone, or did they just create like 4 duplicates of this room and have all the inputs react identically across them?
And mirror them, and then just have the little part on the ground blocking you from going to the other areas. But then if you do that, if you walked into that crate, you might slow down, but that could be part of the puzzle.
Yeah, yeah. What is the puzzle here? Is it tied to that mystery room we saw earlier? It looks a little bit different, so probably not. But weird. Ah, here's that exploding game again, which I really want to play. That looks so fun.
Yeah.
Shadow game with a tuna, by the way. I forget we pointed out earlier. The Endless Runner game. I think it's the same baseball game we saw earlier. Here you go. Now you can actually see it actually is a Joy-Con here. See, I didn't make it up. In the Joy-Con drift game. Here we go. Here's a fruit catching game that looks a little bit Mario Party or WarioWare-esque. I don't know if that's a timer or a point tally. But yeah, it looks like you're just a cat trying to collect fruit. I think you're a cat.
I think that's a cat. Yeah. It's like a cat owl, but
Yeah, I'm thinking owl too, yeah.
you probably just move back and forth and the fruit changes trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game we've seen like any number of times across everything pretty much, so should be a fun little distraction. Here we go. We got a much better look at that initial shooting game we saw with the grid reticle, and we can see the environment seems to be it's binary. Look at this. The background's all zeros and ones. The pink, maybe you're shooting the pink areas. Those are all numbers as well. This is very, very Matrix-esque.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a texture drawn by them, or it can just repeat ones and zeros you write in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks wild though. This is a really cool visual style. So, yeah. Anyways, here's a different type of game. What's going on here? So there's a giant soccer ball, these pegs, and then we have this. And what's the red thing right there, Tom? Can you tell?
That's someone sitting on a platform?
That's what I was wondering. Like, do you kick the ball from there? Are you trying to keep the ball away?
Yeah, I wonder if that's a goal, or if maybe it spins around and hits the ball and you try to hit the other targets.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But it's odd that's connected to the same type of target that as the others that you're aiming for.
Unless you walk around and you spin it.
Maybe. It does look like there's more to this field than we can see, because we can only see 3 walls here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, weird. Here we go. I don't know what's going on here. Almost looks like a turntable type thing. Yeah, actually, that's what it is. It's a turntable, isn't it? You can fade between. Whoa, you can fade between tracks here, I assume, with the slider, or the mixer, whatever it is, and then I guess the buttons add effects.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a DJ turntable type game. It'd be interesting to actually hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, maybe like a DJ Hero knockoff. So cool. Here's that tuna game again, without the boxes this time. Yeah.
I wonder how you get the boxes in. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe you activate them with a button press. I have no idea. This game is baffling. All right. Here's a weird one. We have a door panel, like a part of a wall opening up, either revealing or concealing a duck. Are you the duck? What's going on here?
Yeah, is that just on the wall and like a candlestick, or are you actually that duck pressing that open the wall?
I hope so. I hope you're the duck. Yeah, I don't know. This is like an escape room type thing again, where you're trying to find a way out. I'm almost reminded a little bit of Portal, where you can go like behind the scenes.
Yeah, some memos from Nintendo employees left behind.
Oh my god.
It's possible it could be first-person view and that you can't see your hands or anything.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Maybe give you a bit of a feel like those old school adventure games, like Shadowgate, for instance, or Myst. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, what? This reminds me a little bit of that Geometry Wars like game we saw earlier, but also very different. Where we can see a chef's head with green lines and like sushi flying around. What?
Yeah, I know that's supposed to be sushi, but to me it looked like toilet paper at first. But,
you can see some more down here. Yeah, it does look like toilet paper. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is just an oddball remixed version of that game from earlier.
I mean, I'm assuming that you're the head and you're trying to eat the sushi. So you're moving around, maybe dodging the blocks. Like, are the blocks coming from the background, maybe? Or maybe the sushi breaks in the blocks?
That's a good idea. As a chef, I would assume you're kind of firing out sushi, but to eat it while dodging blocks, I think that makes more sense. But what are those green lines then?
God, yeah, you got me. I mean, this one almost looks like it's coming out of its mouth, out of the character's mouth, but it's impossible to say. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe you're.
I'm calling that a mustache.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Or you might be right. Yeah, I think you're probably onto something. I like that. Yeah, totally a South Park-like character here. Really. All right, let's see what else is next, if anything. Cooking game again with the cursor once more. Oh, here we go. This is a little bit like that maze game we looked at earlier, but maybe not. Maybe this one doesn't involve tilt. I assume you're controlling this orb and you're trying to get it to the end. So this actually might be this might be more like your the hospital game you mentioned earlier, Tom. The
yeah,
surgeon
trying to avoid the edges. Operation.
Thank you. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if it moves slowly or if it has some physics behind it. So it kind of gets momentum as you're going along, and you have to be really careful towards the tight areas. That would be actually very tricky in the last one.
Yeah, you're right. I was assuming this is a top-down view, but it could be a side view too, or maybe your ball can jump around or bounce off walls or something. So
yeah, probably top-down.
I think so. Yeah. Especially with the goal being like in the middle here. I assume it's a goal. All right, next. Fruit game again. Alien game again. And oh, here we go. So yeah, these are some titles of games. So again, like these are all games we've seen already. So let me actually see if I can do a quick translation on this. Let's see if this will actually work. I'm just holding my phone up to the monitor. So first one is baseball. It's a big surprise. Second one is Neon City, basically. Third is Animal Battle. So that's a fighting game. The fourth game, let's see if it confirms the DJ thing.
It says DJ in
oh, it does. You're right. Well, the full title then is What a DJ, apparently, going by Google Translate. Down here is, bottom left, is Caterpillar. So that's the eating game.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen this one. Space Station. Have we seen this?
Got the creepy
lava
alien again.
It does!
It's like Among Us or Genosha.
Oh my god, that's so scary. Is that the escape room? Do you escape the room and you just find yourself in the space station or something? That'd be terrifying.
Or imagine if it's like Alien Isolation or whatever and you're trying to stay.
Oh my god, I would love that. Please make that happen. I love that idea. Alright, next is, this is called Bomb Battle. So I think this is the one we saw the players hitting the balls back and forth, the bombs back and forth on.
Yeah.
And then finally we have Bowing and Run, or Bowing and Run, which is that I think that's a 2D game we saw earlier with the character jumping over the obstacle.
It's either that or a side view of that frog that was doing a backflip.
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to say. So, yeah, so this does kind of suggest, I mean, either these are games the player created themselves, but I'm hoping these are actually part of a tutorial, and we'll all have access to these games. Oh, actually, I'm looking at the top left. It says and published on the internet. So I think these are the players' games that they publish themselves, and they can get the codes for them here and share them with their friends. So, and I'm trying to translate the top text here. Oh, would you like to publish your game? So, yeah. So there's no guarantee these are gonna be in the final game, but I hope they are. But I really want to see what the neon one is on and the space station.
Yeah, those have to be examples by Nintendo employees.
I think so. I hope you're right. All right, and I think that's it, Tom. We finally made it. Wow, that took way longer than I thought. Tom, what do you think about seeing these games? Are you more excited about the possibilities now, and do you want to play these yourself?
I'm more excited after seeing them and having a chance to take a closer look at all of them and guess at what's possible. And there's quite a wide variety there. It's not just like 2D and 3D platformers only. I definitely love the bomb battle one, how quick it looks. But I'm interested to see some of the more creative ideas and what people will come up with based on the constraints in place.
I 100% agree. Like, if taking a close-up look at these games really made me even more excited, because I was already a pretty big fan of what you were able to do with Labo VR Garage, but it was even more limited than this, and also harder to use seemingly than this will hopefully end up being. And yeah, the possibilities here really seem to be endless. Like, this really does seem to be Nintendo's version of Dreams. Obviously, it's not as technically impressive. Obviously, it's not going to be as feature-rich. You're not going to be able to make, you know, games as in-depth as in Dreams. But I'm hoping, I don't think it needs to either. Like, we're already seeing a ton of possibilities here. And if it's easier and quicker than Dreams, hey, that might be a win right there. So yeah, I, for one, am even more excited by seeing the possibility here, especially with, hey, Shy Guy Says. You can't top Shy Guy Says. And Tanks, of course. Anyways, Tom, any final thoughts about this before we wrap it up?
We get a bit more than what was possible in WarioWare DIY, I think. Well, at the same time, not going as crazy as Dreams. I hope that's going to be a sweet spot for people, for more players to try take a crack at making games and sharing them with their friends.
I totally agree. And what's fun about this too, speaking of friends, is you can not just share them with friends, you can play them with your friends. I love that these are multiplayer, and I can't wait to make some fun, hopefully fun, if not evil, multiplayer competitive games. So everyone, there you have it. That's our look at all the games in Game Builder Garage that we know of so far, or at least know you can make so far. Again, we don't know if they're in the game or not, but I hope they are. But what do you think about this? Are you excited about what you see here? And are there any games that we don't know, that we couldn't figure out, that you think you may have the answer to? Let us know by posting in the comments below. And of course, make sure to click that subscribe button, ring that bell, and check out any other videos you may want to watch on the right. With that, we'll catch you later for hopefully more on Game Builder Garage in the near future. Bye, everyone!